Hey everyone, so this week on our PHPMotors website, we have built a PHP controller in order to, for one, display our navigation here. And then what we've done as well is within our account, it's now tied through the controller, which will process the websites that we go to within them. And so first off, I would like to go to the controller within our accounts here. And this is what we've done to produce our controller for our account folder here. And within our PHPMotors website, if you look on the top for my account, you'll notice on the bottom left-hand side that it has the localhost PHPMotors/accounts. So we know that is going through the PHPMotors folder, which then searches for the accounts folder. And then it'll be within our index.php, which we have created our account controller. And then if you look at the link on the bottom left-hand side still, you'll notice that it has an action which equals to logon-page. And so within our account controller, you'll notice through here that we have our switch statement, which then goes through and it catches that action, which the my account equals right here. And it'll go through this switch statement and find the different cases, whether it has template, has login-page, has the registration, and then once it finds the action or the variable in which it's searching for within the switch statement, so in this case it's going to be the login-page. And so once it finds this, which is going to be my account right here, it's going to send us through it'll back out of our accounts folder, which is this .. and then it backs out and then goes into the view folder, and then it finds our login.php that we have created for this video. And so doing that, if we come up here, and first off what I want to do is just to show you the validation for the HTML for our main page here. So you'll notice that the document is checking complete and there's no errors, so it looks like we're doing good on the home page for the HTML. And within this as well, since we've done a little modifications, let's check the localhost CSS. So looking at that, it looks like we're still doing good. There's no errors found for the CSS on the home page. And so now we'll come to the My Account. And so clicking this, it'll send this to the accounts controller and through that switch statement, and it'll find that action that is the login-page. And so once we click this, it'll bring us to our view of our login page. And so now we're viewing the login page that was created and it was processed through the accounts controller. And through this as well, it is also processing again the navigation bar, which we can see through our controller what we've done for the navigation. Beforehand, it was going through the PHPMotors snippets in our navigation. So we're using our navigation in order to populate our navigation bar. And through the accounts controller, we were able to use an echo $nav list, which then also populates this for what it needs to be. So it's going through the controller now. And then, so looking at this, we'll go through and we'll test our page first. So let's check out the validate local HTML just to verify that we're doing good on this page as well. Okay, so doing that, it looks like we're checking out complete. We have no errors, warnings, or signs to show, so that is great. And then we'll check the CSS as well on this page since we've done a little modifications here. And so for the CSS, it looks like we're good as well. There's no errors found and everything looks good. And then one thing I kind of want to show you too is for this page as well, we have again tied the My Account to the login page, which is processed through that accounts controller within the index.php. So you'll notice on the bottom left-hand side, again here you'll see the localhost /PHPMotors, and then again it's being processed through that accounts folder, and then it has that action again. And that action is going to equal the login-page. And so that way it can be processed through that controller, and as you click it, it basically winds up on the same page because it's processing that login-page through that controller. So we are still viewing the login page. And then going from here, we have created a sign in, and then we've created a create a new account button here. And so within the button, you'll notice we'll go back to the VS Code in order to explain this one a little bit. And so in here we created an input, which type is button, and then we did an onClick function, which is the location dot the href equals, and then it's going to be the same idea as our my account, which goes to the login dash page. And so what it's going to do is once we click this create a new account button, it's going to do this onClick action, which it's going to go to the PHPMotors folder, and then it's going to go and do the accounts folder right here. And then again for this one, instead of the action being the login dash page, this time we're going to have it processed through action equals registration. So that way once we click the create a new account button, it'll take us to our registration page. And I'll show you that real quick within our accounts controller. So if you come through here, so again within the action, it's going to go through the switch statement, and then for the variable for action, it's going to look for that registration. So that action equals registration. And so once it goes through here, it'll go through template, it'll go through the login dash page, and then there's also the case registration. So this is the one that it's going to find right here. And again, in order to back us up out of the accounts folder, we're going to do the // which brings us out of that folder, and now it's viewing the entire PHPMotors folders and files. And so once it goes into that, it's going to go into the view file, and then it's going to look for that registration.php, which is going to be this guy right here. And so we'll go to that, and so we'll click this create a new account, and then it brings us to our registration page. So here we are, we're in our registration page, and we can kind of look at that as well for our registration PHP. And this one we got our navigation that is also tied to our echo, which is basically calling that that variable, that nav list. So it's populating it through that controller within our registration page as well. And then here, let's check out our HTML just to make sure that we're checking out okay on this one. So validate local HTML since we're doing it through the local host. And so it looks like there's no signs or errors or warnings. So it looks like this page is doing good as well. And then one thing we'll check is just to make sure that our CSS is validated to make sure we're doing okay on that as well. Okay, so it looks like there's no errors or anything found within our CSS. Okay, so another thing that I want to show is even within our registration page, you can go up to the My Account, and again you'll notice on the bottom left hand side that it's still tied to the localhost PHPMotors accounts. So again, it's going to be going into that accounts file, or that folder rather, and then it'll be doing the action of the equals login dash page, so going back through that switch statement again. And so through here, we'll click that, and then again it brings us back to that sign-in page that we were showing before we went into the registration. And so this kind of sums up a little bit of going through controllers and how we can tie them to each page, and it pushes it through those controllers in order for that to be processed instead of having a direct link, which we've done before in the past. And that sums up our video for today. Thank you guys.